Morning all. Oh, there's that noise again. Do you hear it? Let me show you what it is. It's the Toddler Express. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. So I was up at dawn's crack this morning because of this crazy loud noise. And what was that noise? It was not that noise, it was another noise. It was an industrial leaf blower out the back garden. Now, not only did it wake me at 7:30 in the morning, oh I know, oh it's so early. Well, it is for me, because you know I stay up late. Not only were they making a horrific noise outside, but they were blowing all the neighbours' leaves under our fence into our garden. I mean, come on. So I raked them up and threw them over the fence. So I just returned them to their rightful owner. Okay, enough of that. Today, I'm going to be lying under the truck, undoing all the sump bolts, and hopefully getting that timing chain cover off and just see the damage that this chain snap has done. If it's snapped, I've got a feeling that it's just the tensioner that's gone. So there might be bits of plastic lying about, but if I'm dropping the sump down anyway, I'll be able to pick all the crap out. But first, I need to get underneath and remove the oil, because you know I don't want to get my nice white jumper all dirty. Welcome to Dave's Gardening Channel. Right, I need to prep my bucket. It's full of coolant, and since I'm a good little environmentalist, I'll recycle, or whatever it is they do with it, as long as I don't have it. Right, my bucket's ready. Let's get under that truck. If you're a well-fed human like me, you're going to have to jack the truck up just a little bit, or when you lie underneath, your stomach hits the subframe. It's a real problem. First world problem. Right, let me jack this up. Remember the other day when I was taking the main bolt off my harmonic balancer with my impact gun, and it kind of pushed against the radiator and I thought it was safe? So I fully expect a whole list of I told you so's. I will get my flameproof jacket while I order a new radiator. Oh well, you know what, I'm replacing the water pump and all the cooling stuff anyway. What's a new radiator into the mix? Excuse me. So I found one. CSF seem to have a fairly good reputation. Summit sell them. Excuse me. Summit is about $86 for the new radiator, American. So that's about 120, 130 plus shipping. It takes up to about 200 shipped. But I did find one on Amazon, another CSF one, 1336, whatever the code number is. But it's about 150 delivered, and it's in Canada. So I should have that next Tuesday. election day for you guys down south. Right, what was it doing? Oil, right. So that's your sump plug in this particular engine. I'm not sure what size that is. It looks like a 14mm to me. I brought a selection of sockets so I don't have to get back out from under the car. Oh, it's actually a 13, I believe. Yeah, 13mm. Gloves, cloth, because you always get drippage. And you don't want to round this bolt, so I usually give it a quick tug. Wow, it's tight. Oh. Ow. And it's actually not windy today, amazingly. That doesn't mean I'm not going to spill it everywhere though. Okay, I will let that empty for a while. Sump plug is there in case I forget. And remember, when you leave these alone to empty, the flow comes out this way first, but as it slows down it kind of doubles back in itself. So I like to use a big long bucket to capture it when it goes backwards. Right, what else are we doing? Should we remove some oil pan bolts while we're here? Probably should, right? Right, we're still under the car. There's the... I keep calling it a car, so you know what I mean. You know what I mean, a truck. So we're still under this side, and I'm looking at the pan bolts. There's one there. But it looks like I need to remove these large bolts here. Kind of looks like I do if I want to remove that much. So I'll tell you what, I'll go around to the front, remove the bolts I absolutely have to. My goodness, I don't like all that crusty stuff growing up there. Don't like that at all. Hopefully, oh, hey, let's ignore that. Right, let's go to the front. Before I go back under the front, right, I want to remove this air conditioning compressor, and there's two bolts. There's a bolt there and there's a bolt on the underside. I can't quite get to the lower one from the top, but I'm certain I can get that one. And hopefully it's just two bolts holding that on. I don't want to disconnect all the wire and all the piping. As I said before, I don't have the equipment to evac an AC system, so I need to keep this in place. But all I'm trying to do is get it away from this big plate section. As I say, it's only connecting with these two bolts. So I will put a bungee cord around this pulley so it at least doesn't drop down and break stuff. Let's see what we put it around. I've already tucked my what's it called? I'm having a problem with words today. Power steering pump is out the way, so let's hook this somewhere over this direction. So at least I know it's not going to put any strain down the way on anything. If anything, it will just come this way a little bit. Okay, so 13mm. Good, it's not too tight, which is good because I don't have a lot of space there. I mean, it's not going to fall on the ground anyway because of all these pipes, but I don't want to put strain on them. I'm on my tippy toes reaching down for this. Because I jacked it up, it's even higher. Okay, one out. So I'll get underneath now and get the other side out. So I got those two main bolts off, that one there and the one at the other side of that. However, there's a third mystery bolt and it lives down behind that. You know, really easy to get to. I don't even know if I can get to it from the bottom, so I'll try the top. Once it's kind of off, I'll try and give you a better shot of where it is. Otherwise, I'll put up a picture of a new one and you can see exactly where it is. Right, I managed to get access to that bolt. It is underneath that, okay, and it follows the same angle as the other bolts. Now what I did, I've put this one back in for now before I took that one off, because it puts a lot of pressure on that back bolt when you start loosening it, because it's loose here, and also just to catch it in case. So now I can take this one off. It's only on hand tight, and remember, it is quite a heavy unit, so just watch for it dropping. I'm still not tall enough, I can barely reach this damn thing. Okay, that's fine, so that can sit there and that will allow me to take the timing chain cover off. The bolts I take out, all three of them are the same size, so that's handy to know. You don't have to worry about which one goes where. I'll put them somewhere safe because I don't want to put them back in the timing chain cover, they're just going to get in the way. Okay, so next 1, 2, 3 bolts from underneath, and then maybe drop the sump pan a little bit. Again, I don't know why, I've just been told to do this. We'll see what happens when I take all the remaining timing chain cover bolts out, okay? I'm not expecting these to be super tight. And hopefully these will all be the same length. So just for the record, those two are the same size, and which one? Those ones are the same size. There's one more up there I need to grab, and then I think we are good for extraction. I think. I hope. Probably take that one out as well, just in case. Right, back up top again. I'm not sure how far in this one goes, but we'll take it out anyway. I should know because I put it back in, didn't I? Nah, that just goes in that far. It's in my battery tray in case I lose it, right? But there is definitely one more in there. And I just spotted something else. Okay, again, for the record, that one goes in there. It's in the battery tray. It's quite a long one. Right, here's what I spotted. Looking from the top, do you see that there? Looks like an earth cable going from the timing chain cover to the block or the head. So I'll remove that as well. At least all these bolts are the same size, or 13mm. I mean, they're the same socket size at least. Oh, did you see that? I was a good boy and I put a cover over my intake. I do listen to you guys sometimes, not all the time, some of the time. Very rarely, so that's just a little one. Battery box. So, now what? Now do we just tap it out and see what happens? I'll move the camera back a bit. Right, I've checked around the whole perimeter of this thing. I don't see any other bolts. That doesn't mean there aren't any, but I'm going to try a bit of levering. Do you think this bolt goes all the way through? That would just be completely horrible if it did. I don't think it does, but hey, there's no harm in taking it off. Nah, it was really just holding up one, but hey, it's off now. Yeah, it's coming. Oh yes. Oh yes, it is off, and I already see down there bits of a belt tensioner. This may be worse than I thought. So I found this straight off. This is obviously part of the belt tensioner, but check this out. This thing here, that likes to stab me every time I lean over the car. Alright, what have we got? We have got bits of tensioner. Nice of it just to sit there, but look at this. That's bad news. That's very bad news. So obviously the tensioner went, the chain moved on to this. Oh no, the belt went as well. Everything went. Everything has gone. Oh boy. Main part of the tensioner is in here. Stuck in place somehow. I need to take the bolts off there to get that off. But my main concern is the damage I've done to this. Looks like I'll be ordering more parts from Rock Auto. Gee whiz. Are we having fun yet? Right, I need to look up. That's obviously the oil pump, right? I need to look up and see how much a replacement is. But even before I order that, I'm going to take it off. Hopefully the new timing chain will arrive either today or tomorrow. What day is today? Thursday. Either today or tomorrow. I want to put the timing chain on. Check my pistons. If they look okay from using the boroscope, then I'll put the chain on, rotate it by hand slowly, and see if I can see my valves. I'll take the rocker shaft off at the top of both heads and take the push rods out, so even if a piston comes up and hits a valve, the valve should be pushed up. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be making it worse, in theory. Oh boy. What was I expecting? Carnage? That's what I found. Oh well. So I was on Rock Auto. New pump is about 150. This section here is actually supposed to have a guide, which isn't there anymore. So it looks like once I get this off, I'm going to be going fishing into the pan. So what have we got? 4 bolts there, and the oil pickup tube at the bottom. There is a way to get that off without having to lower the sump. I'll put a link up there to the video that I saw that showed how to do that. Basically, it's a 13mm bolt down there coming up the way, so you have to grind down a 13mm wrench, put it underneath, loosen it off, try not to drop it in the pan. Well, it doesn't really matter because once it's off I'll have better access. Getting it back on is a wee bit trickier, but that way I'm not going to break the seal in my sump gasket, so that should work. But let's whip this off, see how worse it gets. Bits of random shrapnel. So as you can see, the pump is loose, but it's not going to come out because it's still attached to the pickup. So I'll get the camera down there and you can have a closer look at what I'm going to attempt to do. First I'll take this destroyed tensioner off, put these bolts somewhere safe. I don't imagine I'll get new bolts with the new tensioner I've ordered. 10mm, in case you were wondering. So far it's been pretty good. It's been 10mm and 13mm for most of this process. I wonder if I caused all that damage to the pump with my constant cranking, which would have implied that the chain was still attached at that point, which is weird. Anyway, that's junk. Right, get that out of the way. So the plan is to get a 13mm ring spanner in there and under. Okay, that's the bolt there, but it needs to go down the way, so I need to get in there and turn it that way. Yeah, that way. So I'm going to go and grind this down. Back in a sec. Right, I went a slightly different route with my tool modification. So instead of grinding it down, I've created a combination of angles. So it should hook underneath and still give me enough leverage in theory. Let's try it out. Come on, get on. Come on, get off. Okay, so we are on the bolt. Hopefully, if I just whack it that way, then we should have movement. Yes, we do. Okay, it's not mega tight, it's just really fiddly and awkward. A combination of being on my own, not having someone to lever the pump up, and everything trying to stab me in the stomach as I lean over. Bear with me. So I did have to modify the tool a bit more. I had to grind the bottom because it was just too fat, and I can't get my fingers in there. It's still not finger tight to unscrew it, plus it's oily. You know what that's like. So now I can get this in underneath, hook it onto the bolt and turn it like that. Let's see if that's finger tight yet. Or finger loose would be the term, wouldn't it? Ugh. Nah, not yet. Right, bear with me. Ugh, see, now the bolt's so low that the tool isn't even going to work. Ah, well. I'm going to end up climbing in here, you know that? Okay, that method officially sucks balls. Don't do it, right? Just drop the fucking pit. Oh my goodness. Quite angry. Right, I ended up having to finish the last threads of the bolt by grabbing onto the thread itself and turning it with pliers. I mean, it's just nonsense. Just, there's no quick way. Just drop the pan. Right, let's see if this comes off now. Oh, I do need to actually now disconnect the pump from the pickup and then wiggle this out, I believe. Finally. Oh boy. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to have to take the pan off anyway and fish out all the garbage. I thought I was going to get more access, but there's only one slot there. So bits of metal like that are not going to be retrievable from the top. Oh great, I'm just pouring oil everywhere. This day is going great. I'll show you what we're left with, and then I'll show you the state of the pump. So it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's fairly straightforward. Because it's not like a twin cam, you've just got your crank cog there and you've got your cam cog up there, so a single chain. You've got the tensioner on the left, well, it should be on the left, and a guide on the right, which is disintegrated. And then down the bottom, which is what I was struggling with, is the oil pickup, and it bolts from the underside. So you can see how much room I had to play with to get a bolt down the way. Hence why you drop the sump, or even take it off if possible, but I don't know if that's possible without removing the engine in this truck. But regardless, I need to get it down and fish out all the shrapnel that's fallen down those holes. I also need to find the bolt for my pickup tube. That's down there. Oh, I can see it, just there, see it? Teasing me. Anyway, let's have a look at the state of the pump. So there we go. As you can see, the chain was basically munching its way through there. It actually even nicked the bolt that holds it in place. So I may replace that bolt. If I'm even continuing with this engine, it's not looking good at the moment. If this is a sign of things to come, then who knows what's going on in the cylinder heads. And the underside, again, that's the pickup that I was fighting with. The bolt goes in that way from the underside. Wonderful, wonderful fun. Okay, at least now when my timing chain arrives, I'll be able to hook that up, put the new tensioner on, even if it's temporarily, and be able to hand rotate the engine and see what the pistons are like, see if the valves are bent, and take it from there, really. I really should have just taken the sump off, but always looking for an easy fix. No such thing. Right, folks, I'm calling it quits for today because I'm really quite effed off, shall we say, with that. I'm not even going to give that guy a link. That was ridiculous. I have no idea how he got that back on. He must have cheated and just pretended that's the way it worked. And by all means, if you're watching this video, please respond. I'd love to know how you did that, because your video made it look relatively simple, and it really isn't. Okay, enough whining and moaning from me. I'll see you tomorrow. And if I'm really that upset, I might actually work in the Chevy. Because so easy to work in that compared to that. Alright folks, take care. See you in the next one. Bye bye.